So we've been talking about linear equations and graphing linear equations. Today we want to talk about writing the equations of a line. So the first couple of examples we have here often show up on your test and on your final exam. So pay careful attention. If they're difficult, make sure you rewind and listen again. And again, a reminder that you should have these notes. If you don't, make sure you're writing everything down. And check Pearson so that you know when your quizzes are due this week. You don't want to be missing them. So we're asked to find the equation of a line perpendicular to x equals 1 that passes through the point -1, 4. I've got some steps for us to think about here. First, we want to graph the line x equals 1. Do you remember what kind of line that is when you're graphing? X equals 1 is a vertical line that passes through x equals 1 on the x-axis. Next, I ask you to graph the point -1, 4. Do you know the slope of our vertical line, x equals 1? The slope is undefined. If you don't remember that, you have some memorizing to do. So here's the question. We're asked to find a line perpendicular to x equals 1. What kind of line is perpendicular? I hope you know that that would be a horizontal line that we're looking for. We're looking for this line's equation. Y equals, well, what does y equal? There's our y value. Y equals 4. If you need to listen to that again, rewind it. Otherwise, let's move on to question 2. Find the equation of a line perpendicular to y equals 4, and that passes through the point -3, -5. So let's start by graphing this line, y equals 4. Let's graph the point -3, -5. What is the slope of y equals 4, our horizontal line? Yeah, it's 0. What kind of line is perpendicular to y equals 4? Well, perpendicular to a horizontal line, we need a vertical line. What's the equation of this vertical line? It's going to be x equals, what's our x value here? -3. I put an extra example in here. It's not in your notes, but you can do this on paper. Pause your video and see if you can find the equation we're looking for here. Did you read this one carefully? We're asked to find a line parallel to y equals 4. Parallel means we have the same slope. The equation of a parallel line, that's another horizontal line. How do we write the equation of a horizontal line? Y equals, in this case, y equals 3. Remember that you can always use the homework assignments in Pearson if you want to practice certain types of questions. You might want to do that here. Now, there are other kinds of questions that ask for equations of a line. And for those kinds of questions, 2 pieces of information are always needed. we need a slope, and we need a point on the line. The first type we're going to look at in this lesson, we're given a slope, and we're given a point on the line, but we're specifically given the y-intercept. Well, we know an equation that uses the slope and the y-intercept. If we know the slope and we know the y-intercept, all we have to do is use substitution. The slope is -4. The y-intercept, or b, is -0.5. So that's our equation in slope-intercept form. But sometimes you're asked to write this equation in standard form. Remember, there are no fractions in standard form. Oops, I'm running out of room. So what do we do here? We want x and y on the same side of our equation. We don't want fractions, so we're going to have to multiply by the lowest common multiple of the denominator. Be sure to use the distributive property on the right side. I want you to pause your video and try question 2. So again, we know our slope. We know our y-intercept, or b. This is our equation in slope-intercept form. If you haven't already changed it to standard form, pause your video and do so now. We want to get rid of our fractions. So we're going to multiply, but actually, let's first put all of our terms with x on the same side. Maybe that's easier. I don't know. So we have -2/3 x plus y equals 5. Now we can get rid of our fraction. Multiply by 3. Make sure we use the distributive property here. So there we have -2x plus 3y equals 15. I want to say something about this. Sometimes we're told that we can't have a leading coefficient that's negative. Now, Pearson doesn't say that, but if you're not allowed to have a -a, you would just need to multiply both sides by -1. That would give me +2x minus 3y equals -15. So notice we just changed all of the signs. If you were doing a paper exam or a paper test, both of these answers are acceptable. In Pearson, you may need to check the homework, putting in answers there to be sure what is acceptable.